Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Evan Carthy from evancarthy.com. Today is Sunday, September 6th, 2020. Fixed to be the 7th here in about 30 minutes my time. But I wanted to do a quick video regarding the Nasdaq market, specifically the E-mini Nasdaq 100 index futures. And what the majority of it's going to be is a long-term view of the market, where I think it's headed, and when the correction comes, what level to look for the target for it. But before that, I just wanted to show real quick on the 5-minute chart right here, we are fixing to get into a long setup here. So what you're looking at right here, starting here at the top, you're looking at the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave down here. And what I'm waiting on for this trade right here, as you can see, prices sit down in the pivot zone box very nicely. He's bounced right off of it. Let me just show you what that looks like. It's just from the 0 point to the third point at the 1.416 to the 1.618 level. This is where I look for price to pivot and reverse its move that's currently making. Obviously, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen a lot of the time. So that is why I do look for this area to be a very strong either support or resistance, especially for intraday trading. So obviously this isn't an intraday trade, this is several days, but anyways, so price has gotten down in here. It's now starting waffling around. You see it came up pretty close to hitting the target, which is this green line right here. And what that is, it's between the third and fourth wave at the 78.6 line, but it did not hit that right there. And so when it came back down, so the safe trade, and for what I am looking for is waiting for it to break into this green area somewhere in here. And then the target's going to be right about 1178.50. So tomorrow is Labor Day here in the U.S., so market's going to be extremely slow and closing early. So I wouldn't look for it tomorrow to go up there and hit it, but definitely on Tuesday or the overnight session from Monday going into Tuesday, going up and hitting that up there at about 11,790-ish, something like that. So that's target area to look for Monday night, Tuesday morning or Tuesday for the Nasdaq. Now going on to the longer term time frame in the market. Let's start the daily chart, because this is one trade setup that is a lot easier to spot. So as you can see right here in the daily chart for Nasdaq, again 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, here's the pivot zone box for this daily setup right here. It has just gone past and extended out further, which is just fine, because what it does, it gives you better profit potential for it. And so we're looking for this one in the daily chart right here. Is we are looking for price to, the aggressive trade would be to when it breaks into the yellow box, but the safer trade is to wait when price breaks into the green box. And what these levels are just fib speed resistant fan levels, the 30%, 50%, and 61.8% for it. So when price breaks into that green box, that signals to me to go ahead and get into it. So what I'll be looking to do in this trade is to short it, and the target level that we're looking for is going to be this green line right down here at about 86.84. And again, that's from the third and fourth level at the 78.6 line right there. So from this current setup, from this daily setup right here, that is what I'm looking for. And if the price continues to move up, we'll just keep on dragging this up with it. And unless it does something crazy, I don't anticipate making changing this from being like 1, 2, moving the 3 to 4, and then going up and making a new high up there. I think that's where it's going to be, and so we're just waiting for it to eventually come down and close inside the green box somewhere. And target we're looking for is going to be 86.69 for this one. Now for the super long term one, let's go to the weekly chart, and this is where I'm really trying to get my bearings on how I want to measure this, because as you can see leading up to it, it made very easy to see 5-way moves. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pivot zone box, came back up, there's a target, hit, no problem, and then reversing the other way, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the target box right here, or excuse me, the target we're looking for came down there, hit it, no problem again. Now, when it started its move here to the upside, and again going here to the downside, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going back right there, 3, 4, 5, came down, pivot zone box, hit it. There's a target right there, back up here, came back and hit that there, no problem at all. Now, what I like to do when I'm looking for these moves is start up fresh, and this is what this is, because this move right here hit the pivot zone box, came back, hit the target line we're looking for right there. This is way back in, was that May of '09? Hit that, and so now I'd be looking for it to go into uptrend. So, but the issue I'm having with it, and I'll show you the other scenario that I'm seeing with this right now, is when you start down here at the bottom, going up for the Fibonacci retracement level, you can see there it comes down, hits a 38%, and it goes up and hits the target, which is those two orange lines right there. And then as you start dragging it up, it never comes back and hits the 38% again to lock in that we're looking for it to going up into the profit target box, which is going to be the 1.416 and 1.272 Fibonacci extension levels. So once price starts making a major extension away from it, then I just take it from the previous pivot high from the last one that completed, which is that one, and start dragging it up. And here we go. Here we start getting these. So that signals to me is this is going to be the 0, 1, 2. And this is starting wave 3 right up here. And all we're doing for this is we keep on drawing it up until it quits coming back to the 38% line. And one other thing that I'll show in just 1 second. So price hit that one, came up here and hit that target, so we draw it up, and now we just wait for the 30% line to come back and get hit. Here it comes and gets hits right there, comes up and fills that target, so now we keep on just dragging it up, but now it isn't coming back and hitting the 38% line at all, as you can see. So for all intents and purposes, it is done making coming down and locking this in. And even earlier this year, when you had the coronavirus crash pandemic, it never even came back and hit the 38% line right there from that move. So it's this can be it, but it is just an extreme. Let me show you what it looks like right here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let me keep on dragging this way up here, because that's where this is, way up here for the 5th point right there. So technically, from what I understand for LA wave, this is valid. You have the 0, 1, 2. The 3rd to 4th wave never comes and violates the 1. And the 2 to 3 wave isn't the shortest wave out of the 5-way move. And so those are the major rules right there, where wave 4 can't go into wave 1, and wave 3 cannot be the shortest compared to wave 1 or wave 5. So those technically are met, so this is valid. But the thing about it is, and what I did was I drew the fib speed resistance fan down from that bottom up here to this top. So what we're looking for is, and I would keep on just dragging this up, the higher price keeps on moving forward right there. And when price does come back and hit sometime and hit the green down in here, the fib speed resistance fan area, that is when I'd be looking for, short in the market, and definitely the bias for the downside to it. But the only thing about it is that means the target that we have for this is way down here. I mean, just absolutely insane. Down here at around 2082 for the target short we'd be looking for. So the market would take a serious nosedive and would come all the way down to here. So that's from that move that we're looking for right there. But one other thing I also did was I started looking at, okay, well, what if I use, because you see how this made a lower high right here compared to, it made a low, up, lower high. So what I went and did was I went and measured from that pivot low right here, that pivot high. Let me delete this, get some stuff out of here real quick. So the way I trade, this would be valid because the 78.6 line held right here. If it keeps on like moving further down for it, may not look for it, but the 78.6 line held, so price bounced off of that. So here we have the first 0, 1, 2 right here. And let me just move that over a little bit, and then never comes back down again, but that doesn't matter, because then what we did is, just like I showed a little bit earlier, we take it from, there's the top of the 1 point right there, start moving it up, and as you can see, it never hits right there, but it does hit right here, back again when we had that March corona crash right there. So it hit right there, and and went up and hit the target right there, which is cool. But then the one thing we look for is to see where the pivot zone box is we take this back down to 0.0 right here. And there we are. We're right in the smack dab middle of this box right here. So if this is going to be the true one right here, let's draw this. 0, 1, 2, fifth point, third point, fourth point right here. Then what that means is the target area that we're looking for is going to be much, much higher for short in this market when it does break out into the green fib resistance fan, and it's going to be right here at about 7,285. So obviously that's going to seem like a lot less from where, about almost 4,000 points less, or more than 4,000 points less from where it currently is. So you're looking at the market dropping, close to about 25-30% right there. But that does look a lot more manageable. And let's go ahead and move this to about right over there, bottom of that. And this one's currently on the high for it right there. So price is hitting in the pivot zone for this one, and if price starts making its retracement back down, probably won't, for the way I look to trade, there wouldn't be a setup for me, because price would probably come down and hit that target before it broke into that green box for it right there. But just looking at like this right here, it makes a lot more sense than measuring it from this one right here. But again, earlier in the year, if you had told me that the price of oil, the futures contracts, can go well into the negative numbers, I would have said you're lying, never would have believed it. So who knows? Those are the two scenarios here for the Nasdaq. And so, but anyway, so the two targets, excuse me, actually three targets, if we're looking for this daily one right there, which is the easiest one to find. First target is we're looking for is 86, was that about 86.58? And then if we want to use the 5-wave, Elliott wave, using this pivot low down here, then that target we're looking for is right there, 72.95. But if we use this one, which is the fresh one for it, which is why it's just giving me a lot of hesitancy for it, even though it looks very ugly the way it goes, although it does fit all the technical parameters for the other way, 5-legged move, 5-wave move, then the target we're looking for was way down here at 2,065. So that is the wild card right there. But the one I'm most confident about is the daily chart that went over earlier. This target down here, 86.87. And then obviously if this one turns out to be right down here, which is going to be from that low right there, then this target using this low from the 5-wave Elliott move will also get hit as well, so not a problem at all. So probably looking at, for sure, 86.53 for sure, 73.12, and then the wild card 2,081. And let me show you the ES real quick. The reason why I think I'm leaning towards, what was it? This one being it right there is it also fits in a little bit better with what I'm looking for on the ES right here, the long term. You see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically, this came down and filled this 5-legged move right here, but actually what I'm looking for is for this to move it up and make that the 3, that the 4, and then the 5 coming up, making a new one up there. That is what I'm looking for right there. I think this is just kind of a fake out. You have kind of like what's looking like an expanding triangle. You have the 0, or excuse me, you have like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 making the higher high right there. So that's what I'm looking for, which I said in the other videos for the S&P 500, keep on moving up to about 3,800 before we start looking for the retracement down. But anyways, getting a little off track, that is the Nasdaq long-term outlook for it. And so, yeah, we'll just see if that wild card hits and the market really just gets destroyed and goes down, all the way back down to 2,000. But like I said a little bit ago, the ones I'm looking for getting hit is going to be this one, 86.74, 72.29-ish. And then if this one ends up being correct down here is the correct 5-legged move, these two obviously would already been taken out. And about 2,080-ish for that one right there. So anyways, that's the Nasdaq. If you're in the US, have a great long weekend, great Monday tomorrow, and talk to you soon. Bye.